Magos, Pollock, Razvan, and Alexander, you have trekked deeper down into the cave underneath the old gnarled tree and found that in one of its lower sections is an area that was constructed clearly in the previous era, and it is suffering from much disrepair, and in fact a wall has collapsed entirely. There were creatures that sprang out at you, one from below the ground through a tunnel, and one from the shadows, having come down from this layer up here. And these beasts caused havoc, and there was bloodshed, but in the end you all were victorious. He stares this away, closest to Alexander. Just a short flight of stone steps that go down to an heavy iron door. A bit of oxidization on it, but it looks as though it was built to bar out would-be intruders and trespassers. Razvan, according to your map, the treasure hoard of the pirate Grigore is somewhere down here, and perhaps you're feeling a little bit antsy right at this moment.
Indeed. At this point, I would try to do a once-over on the room, stay quiet, try to keep an ear out in case there's anything else sneaking around. But once I go back and grab my lantern, I would walk up with everybody else.
Razvan, the first thing you notice is Magos is just after fighting this monstrosity, he collapses on the floor, heaving, and and he looks so drained and so tired from this battle with this monstrosity. And Magos says, I need just a minute, please.
I would sit on my leg, like one knee up, arm on it with the lantern, and say, like, are you all okay? Will you be all right?
I hope so. I am exhausted from that battle.
Are you hurt?
No, but I just need a moment.
Take your time. Here. I set the lantern in front of you. And I'll walk forward and look at this disgusting, putrid, brain-like tentacle beast on the ground. And I'd be like, take your time, my friend.
The creature is an absolute mess of gore and greenish putrescence as once it collapsed to the ground, the party commenced to confirm that it was truly dead. And many a confirmation was had.
See, I think I shot it, and then Alex shot it, and then someone stabbed it, and I think it was set on fire.
I stepped on it.
Hopefully.
I stepped on it.
Hopefully it's done for.
I'm pretty sure I stepped on it.
Yeah, Magos just borrows a rag from the other characters.
Wipe off my boot.
I wipe my brow of sweat and possibly blood.
And whenever you look like you're getting to your feet, Razvan would lean back around the corner and extend a hand to help you up.
Mm.
Let's go find this fucking treasure and get out of here.
All right, but I'm taking the back.
Of course. That's fine.
So, who is pressing and in what direction?
I think we can all agree that should probably be Pollock.
I don't know.
Pollock kind of looks around and like points to himself as if to say, "This Pollock?"
As you guys are discussing it, I kind of pull the map out, and I'm like holding the lantern at it. I'm like, I think it's this way. And I just head that direction.
All right.
If you haven't noticed, I don't have my armor.
Oh yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about that. It's been
Me too, until I looked at my character sheet. I was like, what
It's
did I mean
been
by
3 weeks.
13 armor class? Oh.
That's still better than mine.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I guess since I have the highest AC, I will go first.
I'm
Meta.
already halfway there.
Oh, well, behind you.
I'm at the treasure. I already opened the treasure. I'm on the way back.
Oh, awesome!
He's
Game's over.
collecting,
Guys.
he's
Great
collecting
game,
the
guys.
reward from the wizard in the corner. He's already there.
I'm doing magic.
Razvan, the door in front of you is solid. It is made of a number of riveted iron bands. They've got layers of rust streaking them, but they're very solid. This thing was built to last.
Is it locked?
Is it locked? You do see a keyhole in the door.
And I kind of pat myself and think back. No, I don't think we found the key. And I kind of crouch down and give it like the once over inspection. Does it look like it would be pickable?
Make an investigation check.
Sure. 23.
Oh wow, that was the. I just rolled a 1 laugh. So
No, that's the. I think people are gonna think I'm cheating because I can't. I'm not gonna use this one. Let's use this one today.
no, use
Razvan, you study the door and any mechanism that you can spy via your lantern light. You're confident that the door is locked, and as well that there is some sort of trap built into the lock to spray something at you should you start tinkering with it.
1 second, really quick. I'm sorry, I just want to... My wisdom is... Okay. Pollock will say, what's the weight? Come on, let's go. And he'll shove Razvan, as he's the one looking at it,
Mhm.
Yes.
toward the door.
I kind of lose my balance a bit and hit the door, and I'm looking straight at the keyhole where I think the spray is gonna come from.
Oh my.
And Razvan goes, I think it's trapped. I think the door is trapped. And I kind of push myself away from the door and look back over my shoulder. I should have said something a little sooner. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. Yep.
Okay. What do I think I need to do precaution-wise to keep from getting sprayed with something?
You, of course, if you have thieves' tools, you can attempt
I
to
do.
disable the device. Aside from that, whatever comes to mind, plugging up the spray hole that's built into the door,
Mhm.
that's a more rudimentary way of going about it, perhaps.
I would turn and look at Alex, and I would say, Alex, come here. Look at this, please. You see this?
Yeah.
I put my fingernail right next to where the little hole is so that he can see it. I hold the lantern up. Does that
Yeah, I
look
can-
like... Here, why don't you look
That
at
is
it?
a
And I would back away.
that is that's a 20 to investigation check.
Okay, so really good. You're both pretty certain that this door is rigged. If someone does not disable it, the trap's going to spray when the door when someone tries to open the door. I'll give you an additional bit of information since you just rolled something high as well.
All right.
You are pretty certain this mechanism turns off when someone unlocks the door with the actual key that was built for it. So the key unlocks the door and shuts off the trap.
I look to Razvan and I say, "There's no way that key that we found in the cave is actually for this, right? It's too far away.
I forgot about that key. Should try it.
I'll try the key."
I will back away.
Okay.
Lovingly.
I'll back away too. As
Okay.
Pollock sees everyone kind of stepping back a little bit, and he'll kind of be wary and take a couple steps back as well.
You might want to take a step back, guys.
He steps on a little bit of brain on the way back. Just ugh.
Oh yeah, watch out for Cthulhu.
Alexander, you slide the key into the door and click. It seems to have worked just fine.
Woohoo!
Well, I'll be damned.
What do we all breathe out?
Fortunately, you are not damned, and you are not straight in the face of whatever it was.
Clever play on words.
Beyond is a small vault. Within, you immediately see that the stash of Grigore the pirate lays before you. Dozens and dozens of sacks. There's even a sealed wooden box. Do as you will.
Razvan, I think this is what you were looking for. Since he
Unless
is my friend and there is honor amongst thieves, sort of.
Unless he tries to physically stop me, I think that the elation would probably get the better part of Razvan, and he would kind of muscle past and look into the room with a measure of awe, his mouth just kind of open. He'd be like, look at the map, disbelieving it, this is the place. We found it.
Yes, just be wary of talking gems.
Razvan would kind of run his fingers over the lump in his coat, and he'd be like, Of course.
Yes, you took the sapphire.
Red.
Did anyone else? I'm going to have to ask. I know I asked this last time, but it's been a while since we played. Did anyone else take coins or anything from that cave?
We all decided that since things were talking to us, we better not.
Okay.
I didn't because I'm rich already. So.
I left because the naked lady made me feel uncomfortable.
So we just have Razvan with the sapphire, secreted away in his pocket. And Razvan, in this room, like I said, there's a number of bags, just nice coarse haversacks, and there's a pretty sizable wooden sealed box.
Okay. I'd be like, fine, you can open the box. And I start thumbing through the bags and opening them and looking inside.
I'll open the box, see what's in there.
It's
Probably going to attack me. I'll open it slowly. Look it over.
Razvan is peeking inside of the sacks, and Alexander's opening the box. Is that right?
Very carefully.
Alexander, what are you finding in there?
I just told you, we found the treasure.
Come
No,
and
I know,
look.
but in the box specifically is what he meant.
I haven't looked in the box yet.
I imagine I imagine he's peering around the corner in the room, watching all this happen.
Razvan's fingers
rushing
are
me, man.
practically shaking, and he's like, just come and look. We found it.
You see a noticeable, like a palpable disappointment on Pollock's face as he realizes in his mind, and you probably know this is just a delay. Like, what are we doing here? He's got to figure out, he's got to get to this place where his grandmother said he needed to be. But he's...
Paralia, the seaside temple.
Was it Paralia? Paralia?
I believe Paralia.
It is now.
Magos also feels like this is a waste of time, and he thinking to himself, man, this is not why I'm here. I don't need this treasure. I'm already rich.
Yeah, well, money's money.
Let's go to Razvan. He was the first to speak, and he got pretty excited there. Roll a D percentile.
Oh, Christ. These are
I think that
these
might
are
be good.
often either very good or very, very bad.
It's the lottery of D&D.
Quite. 74.
Ooh. I was going to say, or you're playing Savage
74.
Worlds, right?
My first album came out.
Really?
Okay, I was like, oh, shit.
I was reverse dead at that point.
I was a butterfly or something.
Within the first sack that you inspect, you find jars, like earthenware jars, and even with their lids sealed shut, you get this spicy, aromatic scent or wafting from them.
Hmm.
Continue to look in the sacks.
I'm sorry.
Surely. I would kind of look in the earthenware jar and like I do assume it is spices and stuff inside them.
You open it up, the first one at least, and yes, it does look like those kind of dark, crystallized bits of incense, like these resins inside of there, and it's so pungent, it's making your eyes start to sting in water.
And I would,
Magos, you can even smell them from where you are, and you've smelled these before at oh gosh. You're really good with remembering names. The alchemist fellow.
Pekasalian.
Esso Pekasalian. Yes, Esso has worked with this stuff before. It's pretty expensive stuff.
Magos says, Psst, hey, you might want to keep that. That's worth quite a bit.
Whew. If it's worth as strong as it smells, it is. And try to push the lid back on and not cough to death.
Are you sure?
Ooh.
It smells like rich, fancy, smanchy stuff. I'm not interested. I'll take a slow look at the box and make sure that it's not trapped, and then I'll open it.
Okay, and just throwing this out there, Magos, you know that it's called Astral Ichor or Astral Ichor, depending upon how you want to pronounce that. Alexander, the box is sealed up pretty well. It has a heavy wooden lid and it's all nailed shut, so you're kind of working at that for a little while. Why don't we have Razvan make another D percentile roll?
Sure. 68.
68.
When I see him thumbing at the box, I would kind of look over as I'm like untying the strings on the bag. I would pull the crowbar off of my pack and hand it to him.
Oh, I've got a crowbar.
You might need to.
All right, so Alexander's over there getting it all popped open while Razvan's opening up the next sack. Inside of the second one, you find a golden statuette, which is is constructed to look like a wyvern with wings outspread, its mouth open, and its barbed tail curling at the bottom.
I'll see it, and I'll say, I hope we don't run into one of those.
Certainly not. Alexander, you get the box pried open. Inside there is a wealth of golden coins of various Palagosian mints. Sitting atop the gold coins is a golden circlet that has a purple amethyst set at its center.
I'll take a look at it and see if there's anything like written on it.
There is no writing, but there is, stylizations and patterning along the thin band of the circlet.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's very delicate. So it's a nice light. Definitely would be becoming of to adorn a woman's head. The amethyst was polished well. This looks like it would fetch a nice price.
All right. I'll slip it into my pocket, or not my pocket, but my bag.
Secretly?
No, I'll make it known.
Okay. Razvan, how about another roll?
Sure. 55.
55.
I was thinking the same damn thing.
Ah, interesting. You have found another statuette. This one is made of bronze, and it is a statue of a centurion. So he has a large crested helmet, and he's holding up this war spear and an impressive circular shield in his other hand, and he has a cape draping behind his breastplate. Would you like to roll again?
Surely, since no one else is looking in the bags. 100! Oh!
You find a bomb.
I wouldn't put it past... I actually told Cody earlier today, it's a 50-50 shot if I die in this session, so
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
fine with bomb.
Well, at his health right now, there's a 50-50 chance Cody dies also.
Well, Magos,
Razvan, you feel a scroll inside of this bag, and you pull it out, and it's a large vellum scroll, and it's clasped shut by just a basic bronze clasp, but the clasp itself is the appearance of an eye.
this
You eyeing me, bro?
This catches Magos' attention. He loves scrolls.
Do you say anything at all?
I do. I say, nice scroll.
I look back quickly and look at the scroll, and then I toss it to Pollock, who's standing in the doorway. And I'm like, sure, take a look!
He doesn't
start
catch it. But then
Greedily
picks it
thumbing
up.
through another bag before I even realize he dropped it.
There is one more. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Oh, wow.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Really?
Nine-
Because at Christmas I only get 3 gifts.
19?
98.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. What the hell?
You find 2 pair of silken pants. They are brightly colored. One is orange with yellow stripes. The other one is turquoise with pink stripes. And they are large, gaudy silken pants.
Hmm.
Fair enough. Tryst make, I assume.
who the hell would want to wear that?
Probably a Tryst.
Some fat rich man in the bag.
Magos
give
is
it-
going to inspect the scroll.
I'll give him like an elbow rib type thing, laughing with him.
I'm going to open up that scroll and take a
All
look.
right. All right. You pull
Wait,
the
what is Pollock
clasp
holding?
off.
I tossed you a scroll and you dropped it.
Oh yeah, I said I dropped it and then I went down to pick it up again, but Magos beats me to it.
Magos puts
Grabbed
his
it.
hand between your feet and pulls it out before you can grab it.
Just grabs- and there's
I'm gonna need you to roll an attack roll to see if you bang his crotch.
Oh, no.
oh, trust me. Oh, trust me. He hits my crotch.
Ooh!
My crotch has an 8 AC. It's not.
You know how larger creatures get lower ACs? It's never mind. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I
Gargantuan.
see. Colossal.
Words I learned from D&D. What does the scroll look like?
Yeah, what's up? What's on the scroll?
You unfurl the piece of vellum that you're holding there, Magos, and you are no stranger to this sort of writing. It's a script in the tongue of magisters and scholars and purveyors of esoteric lore. You're going to require a bit of time to study this, but just an initial perusing of the scroll, you can tell it's some manner of spell or magic ritual that can summon a ghostly eye that can watch over, like a vigilant eye to watch over your home or your camp.
Like
Ooh,
Sauron.
ghostly, not fiery.
Oh, you're right.
Very cool.
I see you.
I relay this to my comrades about what this scroll can do, and I assume I'll be looking at it as we travel.
And as we travel, I will also be looking at it with extreme interest.
Yeah, I'll share it with you.
I would, unless something stops me, of course, Esper.
Mhm.
I would love to cinch the bags up and kind of, like rope it, sling it over my shoulder, whatever. But I want to grab one of these two statuettes, whichever one I think has more craftsman quality to it, like the more intricate of the statuettes between the wyvern and the centurion.
Certainly the golden wyvern.
I would gladly take this golden wyvern statue, and I would come up behind Pollock as he's looking at the scroll and watching Magos open it up and read it, and I would tap him on the shoulder. And I would hold up this brilliantly, amazingly crafted statue, and I would say, from a craftsman to a craftsman, I
Ooh.
think that you can appreciate this, no?
Has Pollock seen? I mean, Pollock's an armorer, but has he seen craftsmanship of this quality before?
I would be very surprised if you've ever beheld something in your own hands of this value.
Then Pollock's eyes are gleaming, not only because the shine of this golden wyvern is reflecting off of his eyes, but because there's just a moment of glaze, like pre-tears, just that, just standing there in awe of something that not only has he never seen before, but he's never even deemed himself the proper social status to be able to feast his eyes on something like that. So he doesn't reach out to touch it, but for the first few moments. And when he does so, he does it carefully, and he nods to you. Sorry. He nods to you, Razvan, and says, he doesn't say anything, but he kind of, it's like quizzically, almost like to say, "Are you sure?"
I would put my hand like on the back of your arm near your elbow, and I would say, I could never repay you for the help that you have given me to find this treasure. But I hope that this is some small portion. Please take it.
I do so. And then I say, "Give Alexander the pants."
Do you think he would want them? And I kind of look up the stairs over his shoulder.
I hear you.
I think turquoise and pink are good colors for him. But thank you very much. And Pollock doesn't even put it in his bag. He's just kind of carrying it like a small child.
And it is fairly heavy. It's a statuette, but it's sizable, and it's made of solid gold.
Would you say it's probably half the size of Pollock?
No.
Yay big. Walk around with it.
So a little smaller?
It's maybe about 8 inches or so.
Oh,
in
okay.
height.
All right, great.
Yeah, it's a statuette, but I mean it's solid gold, so it weighs
Kind of like
quite
one
a
of
bit.
the bigger
I
D&D
saw that.
minis. Like,
This is theater of the mind. Okay.
What's a mini?
Yeah.
that'd be rad.
This is 5e.
Great.
Okay, so Razvan, the amount of gold coins that are in that box, that looks like what you need to purchase the brothel.
I would kind of turn towards Alexander, and he's kind of stooped over the box, pushing the coins around. And I would put a hand on either shoulder, lean down, and kiss him on his cheek. I'd be like, "Mwah!" Make a big show of it. I'm like, "We found it! We found it!" And clap him on the back.
I'll look up to him and say, "You're cool with me keeping this, right?" Motioning to my bag, which has the circlet.
and I don't even like register at all. I just start like crouching beside him and looking at the coins. I'm like, oh my god,
I'll take it as a finder's fee.
I found it. Of course, here. And I hand him the other bag with the bronze statuette in it. It's big and heavy. Like
Yeah, he's not. Alex isn't expecting it, so he kind of goes like, "Whoa!"
Here, take. Yes, of course.
So it sounds like Razvan has everything bagged up, and you're just kind of hauling this bag slung over your shoulder, just this weight of your find here.
And I would attempt. Does it look like this chest? About how much does it weigh? Ballpark.
Which is much as a ballpark.
No, but it's enough gold to buy a ballpark.
Ayo.
Oh. Probably have it in a bag across your back, or are you talking the whole box itself, or just the coins?
Specifically, I wanted to know if there were like 2 handles for transport on either side of the box.
It was a very crude box, right?
It does have handles, yes.
Little rope ones, like, yeah, okay.
Have 2 people carrying it.
Yeah, I would shove the remaining 2 bags towards Alexander, and I would try to grab it myself, and I'd be like, Pollock,
Yes.
could you help me with this? Let's get this out of here.
He looks at the statue, kind of this miniature, in his left hand, and holds up his right hand as if, this is all I've got. But he moves over and attempts to help.
So what?
Yeah, even with the one hand, the 2 of you carrying it don't really have any trouble at all.
Great.
Sorry to interrupt. What are in the? Oh, excuse me, my voice cracked. What are in the 2 boxes or the 2 bags that he gave me?
2 pairs of silken pants and 1 bronze centurion statuette.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
There's also 2 clay jars with what Magos called astral ichor.
Astral ichor. I
Oh yeah,
couldn't
the
get
stuff
my
by
fingers
KY
full.
Jelly.
Yeah.
So silk pants, clay jars, and
The warrior statue, or the centurion.
yeah, I've already got that.
Statuette.
Yeah.
The astral ichor.
I love that name.
That's a cool band name.
Yeah.
Okay, what next?
We need to find Pollock's temple, I think. Maybe that'll help, kind of get maybe closer to Magos' goal as well.
And Pollock's face kind of lights up. Please.
The first thing we have to do is get this all out of here safely. Come on, let's go.
Lead
All
the way.
right. So it sounds like you all are leaving the root cave, and so that would put you here, exiting back out into the thickly misted field. You step out from between the huge gnarled root system at the base of this tree into the opaque, ghostly environment of the scarred coast.
I had almost forgotten how shitty it was out here.
Say, hey, this is a lot like Typhus. Don't say that.
At the least we're not being attacked.
Not yet, Pollock.
Do you prefer the giant frogs?
I'll kind of gag a little bit. Like, he looks physically ill now.
Quickly, once we get back outside, I'm trying not to take up too much time. Once we get back outside, we can find like a better way to carry the gold, and I'll gladly take on the burden, like getting the pack ready and carrying it myself and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Didn't we have like a horse and buggy and stuff?
Well, you came on a wagon, but the wagon, which was driven by Amadon, he stopped in Thermosala this way, which is 8 miles to the west by northwest. So he's there in the village with the hot springs. And then 9 miles north, according to the map, is Chisai, which is a town along the coast. That's where you were wanting to get to, Alexander, to get out,
Right.
get away.
Let's go there.
Hopefully higher on.
Let's head on. Let's head on north, guys.
Yeah, let's go to Grigore and let's drop this stuff off and let's heal ourselves up, rest a little bit, and let's try to find Pollock's temple.
How are you feeling?
Me, I'm, like I said, I'm feeling pretty weak. I could
Right.
use a little rest, maybe a visit to a brothel. That'd probably put me back in top shape.
Well, it depends on what you get there.
And Magos doesn't get too picky.
All right, so northward is. Let me see if I have something that would be good to show here.
I'm just glad we didn't fight the giant.
Don't say that now.
Oh.
A family of giants await you before the town.
I could have swore you played D&D before.
It's just an all-around bad time whenever someone says something like that, right?
Yeah. You just casted the cantrip Jinx.
All right, northward, the party progresses until you meet with this river here, which is streaming along the feet of this large, rocky, craggy hill.
Oh,
Over the hill, across the river, around the hill. What's the plan?
I'm not entirely sure I want to get this wet. And Pollock will put the statue inside of his bag, but he kind of looks longingly at the other side of that hill.
So, do you suggest we should go down the hill?
Perhaps.
It will take a little time, but I don't want to get wet.
It would make sure that your wounds do not get infected.
Oh, good point.
Haha, yes, I do think so myself.
Okay, so if there's no objections, around the hill the party goes. Everyone make a perception check.
17?
That would be a natural 20, Esper.
Success!
This bag is so fucking heavy.
I got a 6.
Pollock, you're the only one who hears this, but as you're going around this hill, you hear a faint echo of some sort of, it may be laughter, but it could be an animal sound. It's a little bit hard to tell, but it's coming from up there on the hill.
You hear that?
No.
Magos is looking at the scroll and he looks and he says, "Hear what?"
Shh, shh, shh. Listen. And Pollock's kind of pointing toward the top of the hill, waiting for the next time the sound comes about.
The party watches, and there's just this rocky crag looming up out of the thick fog. All is quiet except for a flock of crows that passes by cawing.
I think there's something on the hill. And he kind of throws the pack with the statue in it around his back, and he pulls his sword out from his side. Shall we go look?
I'd like to.
I mean, I don't want anything following us.
Neither
If you
do I.
think that there's a danger, I'm more than willing to investigate.
As am I.
But my only concern is, I mean, look at him. He's almost dead. He's he's not doing too well. I'll be saying this to Razvan.
Well, maybe if there is something up there, we can see what it is, foil it, and maybe perhaps take a rest on top of the hill
Ooh.
in safety.
Yeah, don't worry about me. If I can get out of trouble, if there is trouble, I'll be fine.
All right.
I pat Magos on the back and say, "Just don't die then."
And of course, whenever I say that, there's still a little bit of resentment towards Magos, but as we've kind of gotten closer, I realized that he wasn't being himself earlier in our trip, so I'm starting to get along better with him.
Yes, standing by the side of these men through trials and terrors does do something for your bond of friendship.
Friendship.
So it sounded like the party is heading up this hill. It's a high, rocky hill. And you begin the ascent?
Of course.
Okay. Is anyone taking the lead, or are you just going kind of shoulder to shoulder?
I think Pollock would take the lead just because it was his idea and he's ambitious about it.
Yeah, I'll take out my bow at this point.
Okay.
I guess as we're walking up there, I'll say, do we want to try diplomacy first? Or did this thing even sound human to you?
Honestly, to me, it sounded somewhat like an animal, like what do they call those creatures from the Far East, the hyenas? It sounded like something like that from the stories, how they laugh, that high-pitched laughter. You know what I speak of?
Mm. If it is an animal, it could be a good meal.
Also true, yes. So diplomacy, if possible, but something tells me we might be able to just find ourselves with some dinner and a rest.
Sounds excellent, and I'll knock an arrow.
Or the other way
Alright.
around.
The party braces up and begins the rocky ascent up this large, rugged hill. When you reach the top, you find yourself in an area of ground that has a ring of trees, a rough ring of trees, and the trees look a little bit off. Yes, they have leaves as normal for this springtime, but they also have these. They kind of weep with these mossy bits, and there's a little bit of a slick gunk sticking here and there to their limbs. Within the ring of these trees, the fog is especially thick, though you do see a light, perhaps a campfire. It looks like firelight. It's just a haze through thick mist, though.
I make a perception check. And I get a 9.
I was going to look around also and see what I could see with a... that's decent enough. That's a 21. It's better than average.
A couple of things, actually 3 things that you notice with your perception there. Firstly, there are things hanging from some of these trees. They are skinned, so they're just flesh and bone. They look like animals, almost like how a hunter might, skin the prey, the animals, and hang them out for the meat to kind of dry and get a little bit more tender. However, you're pretty sure one of them is actually a child, like a human child, skinned and hanging by its ankles. The second thing that you detect is the sound, a voice. It's erratic, it's mumbling, and you also hear the sound of bubbling fluid. The third thing is you smell the aroma of something cooking. It smells pretty good. It smells like meat and a little bit of herbs.
Nothing
All
like
right.
roasted child.
I'm gonna, as soon as I see the body of the child, in like thieves' camp kind of symbols and stuff, I'm to Razvan, because I want to be as quiet as possible. I'm gonna say not in exact words, but find and kill, basically.
I would probably slink off then. Whatever direction seemed like I could loop around and like a vantage or maybe not be seen.
Okay, so you step away and circle around a little bit.
Mhm.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
So
I
you
will-
you're doing the same as well, Alexander?
Yeah, just finding a spot to hide so I can provide supporting fire if something goes wrong.
And Magos, Pollock, what about you two?
Pollock would be very surprised at the, obviously, the child. And that would probably take him a few moments to get himself back together. He grew up in the slums. It's not the first dead child he's seen, but it's definitely one of the worst sights. But he's kind of inching his way forward, squinting his eyes, trying to block out every other thing other than this fire and the area around it. Try to see what's around it while he's kind of stepping forward slowly, trying to stay silent.
Okay. Cautiously you inch forward. And Magos?
I make a stealth check and I try to hide in the mist.
I probably should have done that also.
Actually, don't worry about that. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Since you rolled, go ahead and tell me what you got.
I got a 15.
Okay.
I'm going to also inch forward, fingers tingling with embers of flame.
Okay. Pollock and Magos continue more or less straight ahead, it sounds like, betwixt this ring of trees, whilst Alexander and Razvan circle around in their own secretive ways. So we have a 15 for Magos. Go ahead and everyone else roll their stealth check.
All right. This is something I'm good at, guys.
The big 1-5.
Hey, nice, dude.
Razvan?
I got a 9.
Alexander?
He's paralyzed with fear.
I think the tinkling and tankling of these coins in my back pocket a little too much. I'm not used to it. I've been poor forever.
I think I dropped.
Yeah, you did. It's all right,
All
though.
right, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Before I dropped, I rolled a 24.
Okay. So, Alexander, you're the only one who's really remaining hidden throughout what's about to happen. You're crouched behind, we'll say, one of the trees there in the thick fog, and you see this small clearing that's on the inside. You see a shack that's made of sticks and mud and animal skins. You also see a very crude makeshift table. You see a campfire, and you see over the campfire there is a spit with some meat roasting on it, and there is also a cauldron that is bubbling. You other three, there is a creature that suddenly jumps out from the mist, and it actually it's sort of dog-like, and it runs around, and it looks at each of you three, right into the eye, and it has these big, bulging, bloodshot eyes that kind of roll around in different directions, and its mouth is open, and it has this wagging, drooling tongue, and it's just this mangiest kind of monstrous hound thing you've ever seen. It's very, very ugly, and it's just. And so this is just going mad right in your faces, howling and cackling at each of you. Alexander, what do you do anything in this situation?
Oh. So I see it going straight for them, right? And
It's not going straight for them. It's actually bounding around erratically, though.
just like it's got rabies and it's going crazy.
It will exactly, and it will pause whenever it comes near one of them and kind of gaze right at them with these wild eyes.
No, but I will ready my bow for if it attacks one of them.
Okay.
Magos says, "Will you shut up?" very quietly to this thing as he, you see his hands go boom, and I'm going to cast Sleep.
Okay. Cast away.
It's a good movie.
Take a drink.
Sorry, hold on. Just sorry about this, guys.
That's all right.
Lost my spell. Lost my spell.
Does that make you feel more comfortable, or you're looking it up, Magos?
Yeah, it helps.
You're
Oh
like
my
trying to
goodness.
remember how to cast sleep. Like, oh my god, this sound.
I can't. This is the opposite of sleep.
Okay, so I rolled 30 hit points worth of sleeping power. Does this? How many hit? Does that hit this? Match this creature's hit points?
The hound-like creature cackles and then stops mid-cackle. Thud. Straight to the ground, tongue hanging out, drool pooling from its mouth, snoring.
Very nice. I say to Pollock, I assume is nearby. I say, after you.
Yes. And Pollock will move forward.
I follow behind.
Okay. So you all are in the middle of this small clearing. Again, you see this shack, a table alongside it. There's just all kinds of bits of stuff on the table. None of it looks pretty. And the campfire with a bubbling cauldron and also a spit just adjacent to the cauldron with some kind of meat that's sizzling on the wooden spit.
Mystery meat.
What kind of meat is it?
Mystery.
It's about a pound or so of meat.
Can I tell what kind it is?
You can go up and really check it out if you want.
Yeah, I would continue moving slowly and keep looking around me, and then I would. Yeah, my goal is to get up there and kind of in it to see
All right, so
what's going on.
you crouch down. The meat it looks like it's been roasting here for a little while, and it's just it's sizzling and juices are dripping from it. Pop, sizzle. Make a knowledge nature check.
Okay. That's just a straight D20.
Natural 20.
I don't know if you can see that, but that... Oh, no! It's a
I will-
2-0. That's a 20.
Dude, you know this meat. You know your meat.
I was like, dude, they're not going to believe me if I just say I rolled a second
That's your
20.
second of the night, right?
Yeah, that's the second one.
It is unmistakably goat, and whoever has prepared this did a magnificent job. And I don't know. I'm not sure how your nerves are at the moment, but under normal conditions, you would probably be salivating at this delicious cut of mutton.
Pollock raises his sword and looks to Magos and says, "Did that creature look like a chef to you?" And he's kind of looking around, expecting maybe somebody else to be there.
Magos approaches Pollock as the monster is snoring, and he says, Pollock, I'm willing to bet that there is some sort of hag or degenerate in that shack. I was wondering, What would you think if I lit the shack on fire?
Pollock says, too risky. Do it.
I push out my knuckles, and you see my hands come up, and you see these flaming embers start to build and build and build.
Wait.
Phew, I stop mid-spell.
Pollock notes to the child, what if there are more children in there?
Oh, good point. I would not want to be responsible for the... children.
I would have been trying to sneakily get down there to tell them to stop. As I saw that, and then as I saw him stop, I would take post somewhere where I could see the inside the hut whenever they presumably go in.
Okay. Magos, you're going in? It's pretty small. It looks just like a one-room shack.
I would whisper to Pollock again. I say, if there were children in there, wouldn't they be making noise?
There could be Gad, perhaps. I don't know. Is there a window you could kind of peer in?
No windows. It's pretty crude. It's very small, just like a one-room that maybe has a 10-foot diameter at the largest.
Okay.
Bigger on the inside.
Let's I don't think we should do anything until we know what we're facing.
Pollock, you should go knock.
Oh, that's a very smart idea.
No, seriously, maybe it's just a wild man or something. I'm serious.
I don't think the wild men knock before they enter.
Well, it's, if it's dangerous, we can take him. With your sword and my magic, there's no problem.
I think there's a fine line between showing courtesy and not burning.
Well, the mutt didn't tear me apart, so maybe it's just... Okay, I will admit the child is a bit disorienting, but I really want to burn down that shack.
If Pollock goes toward the shack, can he and he puts his ear to kind of the shambling structure? Can he hear anything?
You walk up to the shack. Again, it's made of sticks, branches, mud, animal furs here and there. The front entrance is just an animal skin that's draping over the entryway. Go ahead and make your perception check.
Okay, I'm going to use Dice Stream, because if I roll another 20, you're kicking me out.
Oh,
17. So that is a 19 total.
All is quiet within the shack as far as you can hear.
Magos is looking at you, Pollock, like, so?
Can I burn it down? I said, I don't think there's anybody in there. So let's check it out and, see if there's any food or any medicinal supplies for you, anything useful. And then if, when we're done, then you can burn it down.
Magos gives a nice celebratory gesture, and he walks up to the shack, and he asks, is it locked?
Is it just an animal skin, or is there a door?
Just an animal skin.
Oh.
Okay, great. So then Pollock will just go in. He'll swoop the animal skin aside, and what does he see?
Okay. Pollock, you pull aside the flap, and you look in, really dim in there, just a wretched hovel that is messy, ill-kept. There's various effects everywhere. Some sort of outdoors dweller obviously lives here. Couple things of note. There is lots of seaweed. Whoever's here is collecting strands of seaweed. There are some pieces or different bunches of pieces at different stages, different ages. A lot of it's being braided together, so there's sections that look like rope or like a garment, like cloth. And then another thing of note, there's a small pile of skulls in the one kind of corner of the shack. you're pretty certain that a couple of them are human skulls. The rest look like animal skulls.
And everyone else,
It smells kind of funky in there too.
Pollock walks back out and says, anybody up for some goat?
I raise my hand.
Your smoldering, ready to ignite hand?
No, I just agree. My agreement hand. That's my other hand.
Agreement hand. It's my smacking hand. My agreement hand.
My hag slapping hand.
All right, so who's eating here?
Oh, I am. I'm hungry.
I'll stay on watch.
Okay, I imagine you're all probably getting fairly hungry by this point. I'm not sure what rations you all brought, but this meat is probably more tempting. Actually, there was the feast in that cave.
I don't think anybody touched that.
Okay.
Yeah, I value my soul.
All right. So you all enjoy this herb-infused, roasted chunk of mutton. It's delicious. Whoever prepared.
I inspect it.
There's a large wooden ladle that is just there, on the ground next to the cauldron.
I'll take a sip.
All right, so you ladle up some of the broth, and it has a few little pieces of onion and carrot in it, and you blow it off. It's super hot. You take some sips. It's good. Actually, a little bit salty, and a little bit of almost something else in there. It's hard to place it. Kind of a little bit of a sharp taste.
Okay. Razvan asked if we should kill the dog. What does the party think? Because I'm in favor of burning anything.
Well,
It didn't attack us.
I mean, it's here with whatever, and I point to the body, did that. So it can't be good.
It could have been a possessed child.
Razvan is sitting with his back to the pit, with his crossbow on his lap, just eating some goat, looking at this dog. Like, should I shoot it? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
If the dog comes back to life, I'll deal with it. There's no need to kill an animal that's not going to hurt us. Could be a good friend.
All right.
What kind of creature is it?
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, you've never seen this dog breed before. It's a large breed, a very larger than a mastiff, but lankier, and it is obviously infected with mange. It's just mangy all over. Its eyes are just rimmed and bloodshot. It might be deformed. It looks that bad, like it was just a deformed creature.
Maybe we should kill it. I can't make up my mind.
Yeah.
I really just
I think we should get rid of it.
yeah, put it out of its misery.
Point in question, where did the kid come from? We haven't seen any houses or roads over here.
Maybe
Why would a child be wandering the mist?
maybe they got a wandering caravan.
They didn't live here, did they?
Oh no.
Whatever happened, it can't be good.
All in favor of killing the dog? Raise of hands.
Eh.
Pollock says, well, we could just tie him up.
Oh,
But what about its mouth?
we'll just tie it up.
No, I mean the barking.
I love Magos. Oh. It's like options 1 through 5 are burn it with fire. 6 to sleep with it, and then below that he doesn't think of it. But then when we mention it, he's like, oh yeah.
We could totally do that.
I could charm the dog.
Just singe it a little bit.
The dog is starting to wake up. What do you
Oh.
want to do?
I say we put an arrow in its skull.
Pollock tosses Razvan just a cord of rope.
Yeah, tie it, Razvan.
Yeah, tie
I
it,
go,
Razvan.
oh shit! I run over while it starts to like kick awake, and I've never tied a dog before, but let's give it a shot.
Okay.
I'll see him as he's doing this, and I'm gonna be on the floor basically.
So, Razvan, you tie up this wretched hound thing, and then it comes to, and it starts to wriggle and squirm and make all these like horrid sounds. Twisting about. Make a dexterity check.
Okay. Oh, that's a 20. Not a natural, modified 20.
Yeah.
The creature is bound fast, and it does not escape, and it soon quits its struggles and just kind of lies there panting pathetically.
I'm still on
Did
the
it-
floor.
Did it like try to snap at me, or was it just, kind of upset?
It's lying there now on its side, and its eyes are gazing out almost at nothing, just
I'm gonna-
there panting.
I'm gonna say, guys, what if this was just like, what if the person who lives here was watching, and they just didn't come because they heard the dog barking?
And didn't you take a look around?
I didn't have time.
Look around.
Go take a look around.
What the heck? You have
What
one
the-
job, Alexander.
I didn't get
Italian family.
I've still got goat in my mouth. You've got one fucking job. I tried to dog.
I didn't get told anything, so I assumed that we didn't have enough time to look around.
My favorite leadership trait is initiative. Go take the initiative.
Can I burn the house now?
Magos'
5
fingers are
minutes.
badly
5
smoking.
minutes, Magos.
Oh, fine. I'll go with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can go by myself. I'd probably be better off going by myself because I'm stealthier, but give me a damn chance to do it. So I'm gonna go scout out the area, I guess.
Okay, very well. Make a perception check, Alexander.
I want to do it stealthily also, so should I do 2 rolls?
Don't worry, I'll let you know when to roll stealth.
All right,
Just do the perception check for now.
so my perception is okay. So 17, 18, 19, 20.
As he's gone, Pollock looks at everybody else just in a short cutscene and says, "What's the worst that could happen to him?" And then it cuts back and you roll a 20 on your perception. So
It'll be fine.
You don't see anyone. Some of the trees in this hilltop have crows in them. One thing of note, of all the crows, there is one bird that's different. It looks like a seagull.
It's an omen.
I mean, what am I gonna do? Go back and say, guys, I saw a seagull.
Get on the ground. Burn the shack. Let's get out of here.
That's the sign. We need to burn it down. Oh, all right. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna act a little spooked,
what did you? What was it?
guys. I
Spit it out.
Pollock pulls his sword. What
sea-
is it?
It was a
Oh,
Alexander, go wait in the shack for a moment. I think I read something. Fireball. That's
I
good.
mean, it
Was it
was
the
a little
monster
odd that
Was it?
it was a seagull amongst a bunch of crows. So
The same crows like we saw earlier.
right from the trees. Yeah.
Now again, Razvan would be giving Alexander a little bit more I don't know, confident. He'd have a little bit more confidence in Alexander than these other guys because I've worked with him before, and I know there's kind of a method to his madness. So I would be like, he wouldn't mention it unless something was up. So I would at least hear him out.
but I also he likes playing jokes, so that first part probably got him in the rib cage a little bit.
The reaction was the best part. Fuck!
Come on! I don't know if it's an omen, but I don't really care. I want to find whoever did this to this child and make them pay.
Well, Razvan would toss the bone that he's been chewing on, kind of lick his fingers off. He'd actually toss it like at this dog that's laying there, kind of looking at it, and he would be like,
it licks at the bone.
He'd be like, okay, let's give it one good look for old time's sake. And I would go over to where this child was, and I would like to look around and see if I can see anything at all. Not CSI Miami, but just give it the once over and see if I can tell anything at all about what happened.
You approach the corpse. It's fairly unidentifiable as it is completely skinned. It doesn't stink too much, so it seems fairly fresh. And it is hanging upside down, bound by the ankles and just snugly dangling from a thick tree branch. Make an investigation check.
Happily.
What if this is some like Silence of the Lambs shit?
That would be a 22.
It was a girl. Not quite a woman, so maybe 11, 12, 13 at the most. That's it. I mean, she doesn't have hair. The whole body is just completely scraped clean of skin, hair, everything.
And I would be actually relaying this information as you're saying it to me.
Mhm.
Like, as I'm looking at the body, I'd be like, it's a girl, not quite a woman. 13, 14 maybe. Then I'd
Are you gonna burst into song?
cut the rope and kind of lower her down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, like, there's nothing I can see here. I think the most we can do is maybe bury her. But
I
I
think that
leave
would
it
be
up to
best.
you.
There's no more goat in Pollock's stomach.
Oh,
Really. All the fresh-eaten goat is removed.
what a waste.
And as soon as you do, I struggle.
I already let
struggle
mine
to keep mine.
so
Magos
So
would like to
you
say-
take the corpse down, Razvan. You do get a little bit of blood on yourself as you do. You're not drenched or anything, but it smears you here and there. The pocket, which contains the sapphire, there's just a little bit of a icy chill that radiates from that for a moment.
I would kind of touch it again.
Nothing more, just a little chill that runs through. And then you want to bury the corpse of the girl.
Magos would just suggest we give her a proper burial because souls are always more clean when they are burned. I believe we should burn her with the house. I'm being fairly serious as well.
I know, but just the persistence.
In the moment, I would take you seriously. I'd be like, if that's what you want to do.
This monster who lives here does not deserve to have this house.
All right.
So you place the body of the girl inside the shack, and Magos begins to fire it up, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's quite a dazzling array of flame as this shack starts to light up like a fire, or like
As you're charging, next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Now, out of character for just a second, Is this the first spell we've actually seen you cast? Because I know you cast a fire butterfly on accident before.
I casted a few minor fireballs.
Yep.
Oh yeah?
This is the first truly spectacular.
I
And
agree.
It's the first time I've been very close. So.
Yeah, I actually was thinking the exact same thing. So this is certainly the largest spectacle you've seen him perform, and you're right up, right up close and personal, and as well you're not distracted with fighting for your life at the time.
I'll pat him on the back and say, I knew there was a reason why we kept you around.
Razvan, do you have a reaction that you think's fitting to your character, or if not, we can give you a random one?
My reaction would definitely be to take like 3 or 4 big steps back. My mouth is kind of slack, and I'm looking at this because I didn't even believe in all of this bullshit until like a day and a half ago, and I would just be looking in awe at what this guy is doing, feeling the heat on my face, and I would kind of look over to Alex, and Alex is like, yeah, yeah. And I would look at Pollock. How does Pollock react?
He's stunned. No sound. Take how he reacted to the statue, and but multiply that times 10.
Pollock is stunned with disbelief at the arcane display in front of him. Alexander, it seems, is ecstatic and just totally
He's awestruck.
bombastically awestruck, and then Razvan as well is a little bit shocked and a little bit bewildered. Magos, as you are sending gouts of flame into the shack, you quickly realize that you're burning and singeing away the animal skin parts readily, but the sticks that are covered in this moist fog and moss and the mud that forms a lot of the integrity of the shack does not really ignite all too easily. If you're intent on truly burning this down, it's gonna require a bit of time, and that would be dangerous for you.
It would. Is the body burning?
I'm going to put that in the same, all in the same there. The body, the mud, the kind of moisture saturated branches. Because I mean, this is a body. It's still got a lot of fluid in it. You can do it, but you're going to have to be roasting this thing for quite some time, and you know what happens if you just continually channel fire through your fingers.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody have any alcohol on them?
I don't think that would help. That would probably make it worse.
And you'd also need some pretty potent alcohol.
No, I don't mean like to drink.
Oh, that's what you mean.
I mean, I have a small flask of oil, but it's only like this big.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how you handle things of this nature in your campaign setting, but I do have Alchemist Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if we think that would burn her completely, I would gladly offer it.
All right.
Once I see Magos kind of like come off the flames and like his hands are nearly steaming.
Yeah, his hands are like steaming and smoking, and the skin's starting to get kind of red and tender. I mean, he was really roasting it for a minute there. You want to sacrifice the flask of Alchemist's Fire?
I would offer it, and if he thinks it's a good idea, I would definitely toss it in on her.
My steaming hands, I nod and I catch it, and I walk up to the shack and I throw it in there on top of the corpse.
All right. You smash the relatively fragile clay flask onto the body, and it erupts in a gout of orangish red alchemical fire, and it begins to conflagrate and pop and sizzle. Do you want to continue adding in some of your own?
I will add several small fire bolts just to kind of.
All right, you add a few in more for good measure.
But I refuse to.
Okay. So you do not reduce the entire structure to just smoking charcoal, but it collapses in on itself, and it's charred and it's smoking, and that certainly is a grave.
I will say a prayer for the dead. Blech.
Who do you pray to?
No one, just I say a general prayer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't pray to a god.
No,
but it's just your own
he's
personal.
not religious.
Mm-hmm.
But he. How do you explain not being
You're
religious?
spiritual, but you're not religious.
No,
But honestly, that saying he's not religious but he's still praying is just the best description of
I know,
that character ever.
it's-
I love it.
I love it too.
he's trying to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing.
Despite your whatever it may be, atheism or just a general not caring to think about such
Right.
matters, you still are moved into a moment of reverence and wonder and respect.
Right, which doesn't happen often for him. It's pretty whimsical, but
Mm-hmm.
he has a thing. He doesn't like it when children die. Is the thing. That's one of his biggest
For sure.
no-nos.
Yeah, that's where he draws the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll conclude this scene for now. There's really not much more to say. The birds scatter as you're walking away, but there's nothing else, nothing really too noteworthy. You come down off the rocky, massive hill back into the misted swaths at its base. I'll give you all 50 experience points each.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Nightfall is descending upon the land. Chisai is still another day's trek northward.
I wouldn't be against making camp for the night.
Sounds like a plan.
If only we had the place to sleep and eat food. Oh.
Hey, if you wanted to sleep on skulls, that's your preference. A terrible scholar.
Please no. All right.
All right, so you all are just camping here out in the field.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking shifts, or
Yeah.
does that not matter?
I'm
I'll
off
take
today.
first shift.
The night passes without incident. A few animal sounds here and there. At one point, there's that booming voice of the giant, but it sounds really far away. Nothing approaches your camp. You all complete a short rest without incident.
I don't have any more hit dice to spend, so.
Oh,
Okay.
I should spend hit dice.
I should play the game. Oh, crap. I thought there were rules here.
Sorry, I was so immersed.
Hey man, happens to me too.
That's
That's
a
a good
good
problem to
Yeah.
have.
Exactly, man.
I mean, it's all in Esper's storytelling. I mean, it's so immersive.
Yeah, I already have a message queued up to send to Esper right now that I'm not going to send until after the game, but it basically says, I'm wasting it here because I'm going to say it anyway, but it says, what do you read and what do you watch? Because I want to be as good at descriptions as you. So, yeah.
Sure.
Tell us when we're finished here, man. 'Cause, you know.
Sure. Thank you. Absolutely.
Sure.
I love talking about stuff like that. I'd be interested to hear what you like as well. Okay, so you recuperate a bit after that strange evening behind you. And Razvan, you have this map of the general region here. It's a basic map, but still it serves you well. And you see that Chisai is going to be a good day's trek northward. It's along the coast. It's an actual port and fishing town. The The map shows to the east from where you're located at the moment. There is a jut of land, and there is a mark on it, and it written next to the mark. It does say Paralia. Ah, I guess we got the correct pronunciation there. Paralia.
Paralia.
I think you were right, Barker.
I just, you know what? I oftentimes take notes. Not often, but this is the only time I've ever succeeded at that. So, like, hey, there's a P word.
I've been trying to take notes on this the entire time, and he puts so much emphasis on the detail that my page is just completely filled up.
See, I'm such a garbage person that I have like 80 little scraps of paper with crap written on them strewn everywhere, and I just rake it all into a big pile and put it in a notebook, and then whenever we go to play, I just dump it all back out.
Within the emptiness of my head, I'm able to store all the names and information and all this.
But in the early morning daylight, when we wake up and everything, and I take a few minutes to actually shave, which it feels good. Like it's a fresh day for me. Like things are changing. But I would look back over the map, because like I've said before, I try to write down where we've been and what we find on the map itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would finally notice this name.
Paralia.
Yeah, I know it's Paralia. I'm actually trying to remember Barker's name now.
Pollock.
Pollock.
Damn it.
I knew it was in here. Pollock. Man, too
Someone
many
here's-
P's, man.
One of your
Pollock.
Post-it notes somewhere.
Yeah, right. It's actually on
Yeah,
the-
according to your map, if you were to get over this river, there's this jut of land over here, and there's a mark that says Paralia at the tip of the easternmost tip of the jut.
I'd say, Pollock, where is the place you're trying to get to?
And Pollock wipes away some sleep from his eyes. What place? It's too early. What is it called? Help
Is
me.
this it? And I kind of point at the word, unsure how you pronounced it before. Like, is this the place?
Paralia. Yes, that's it.
Oh, well, I suppose we know where it is now.
I'm still asleep.
We leave him there.
I was waiting for that.
I wasn't going to say a word, not one.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person.
No, he got me. He got us with that joke last night. So we have to give him credit for that.
True. I'd be like, do you want to go today? We can look while we are here. I will gladly go with you, my friend.
That would absolutely be my preference. And Pollock looks to everybody, and then he doesn't realize you're asleep right now, so he kind of looks to Magos, Razvan, and then he looks over and says, Alex, yeah, I see the snoring.
I would love to.
Alex!
I'll kill him if he gets my breath again. What?
Get up! Don't even tell him where we're going. Just get up.
I'm up, I promise.
It's going to be a
Okay.
good day, my friend Alex.
So eastward you head. The river is not far from where you camped, and you make it there within a quarter of an hour, maybe a little bit more. The stream is heading to your right-hand side, so it would be flowing this way here into this bay. And you find a location where from bank to bank, it's just a short, narrow ford, and you can wade your way across. As you're crossing the river from one misty bank to the next, you hear rumbles of thunder actually in the east, in the direction that you're heading, not altogether different from that storm you had heard previously. Same location, same general feeling to it.
Oh, shit, my robe doesn't have a hood.
I'm sure I have something in my pack. Let us get across this water and we'll look.
Okay.
The
You
storm
cross.
is floating.
You cross the river and go across the ground. This takes up, what do we got? Yeah, this takes up morning and into the afternoon as well. But indeed, just as Razvan's map led you to believe, there is a temple here up on a raise of land overlooking the cliffs that go down to the sea below. And it is a pretty large temple made from pallid granite and sections of marble with tall pillars and colonnades wrapping it round from the outside. And there is a pointed top and stairs, a large, wide stairway forming the approach up to the front of the temple. The storm brews all around. The sky all above is a quickly moving, shifting, rolling mass of gray clouds, rumbling, little flecks and drops of scattered drizzle comes down all throughout the area. There's whipping ocean breezes. There's certainly a stormy energy that seems to gather just all around this area.
Pollock's pace is quickening as he's kind of gazing upward toward the darkened sky, and he kind of he asks broadly, not to anybody in particular, does that look like a normal storm to you?
No, I believe the Lord of Winds wants us to go into these temples.
It's just a storm. Don't think anything of it.
There's a clap of thunder and a thin tongue of lightning strikes somewhere off in the ocean, just at the end of this little peninsula here.
We say it at the same time.
Yeah.
Magos starts power walking into the temple,
Of course,
looking up.
it could just be a storm, and that could be coincidence.
All right, the group hustles up the stairs to the entrance of Paralia. At the top of the stair, there is a boy, maybe about 14, 15 years old at most, and he has on an acolyte's robe, just a pretty nondescript, humble, long robe clasped at the waist with like a hempen rope belt, and he has hair that falls down to his eyes, and he has a broom, and he is sweeping away just, cobwebs and dust and whatnot from inside the temple. He's sweeping it away, and he almost like sweeps the debris onto you as you're coming up the stairs. Oh! I didn't see you coming there.
Oh, forgive me. My name is Magos of House of Eva, and these are the great heroes of Pelagos that are with me.
Oh, House of Eva. His eyes kind of look up. You can tell he's thinking really hard. This is Vitus, is it not?
Yes, my father is the king.
I'm humbled that you come. He he acts like he's trying to know what to do. Like, should he give you a bow or like kiss a ring? And he just,
Look, don't worry about it, my friend. I put my arm on Pollock's shoulder, and I say, "My friend here has a spiritual journey, and he must be allowed into the temple. May we pass?"
Yes, I am Pollock of House... Well, just Pollock.
Okay, Pollock. We are glad to have you, and this is the right place. I'm sure you've come here for a reason. Come inside. Get out of the storm.
Let me do so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I am Adan.
Pleasure.
Greetings.
Well met.
You notice as he's ushering everybody inside, he kind of taps himself nervously. His hands will just kind of tap lightly against his chin or his nose or his cheek or his chest or his arm. He just is real fidgety, and he welcomes you all inside. Who's at the back of the group here?
I probably would be.
Alexander.
Trying to keep my head as low as possible. Not out of respect, just out of not wanting to be called upon like in class.
Yeah, me and Pollock.
Well, Adan does speak to you.
Do I get... Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, please.
Adan does speak to you quite quietly, though, almost like he's not wanting to draw anyone else's attention. Excuse me, sir, Elf, I'm sorry, your leader, he said he's from House Aviva. This is associated with House Kokora. Is it? I hope not. Is it? Tell me.
I'll rack my brain to see if I actually know that.
Sure, make a history check.
So that's just a base D20, so that's a 15.
You know some. House Kokora is the ruling house of Kriskatai. They're actually the only noble house in Kriskatai, and they are not associated with House Aviva. If they are, it would just be basic trade that almost anyone else could have. They're leaders of Kriskatai. Their house sigil is a cockatrice.
So he would probably want me to say yes to that.
Are you wanting to tell him that House Kokora is not associated with House Aviva?
No, I mean Magos probably, whenever he said the stuff about his father, he was probably alluding to the fact that he wanted this to be said, right?
Well, you're not talking with Magos. The boy is talking to you secretly.
Oh, it's the helper.
Yes, the acolyte is just kind of like pulling you back and just kind of quietly addressing this to you.
Oh, well then I'll say yes, of course.
They are?
Yes.
He is?
Yes, of course.
Okay. He goes very quiet and just it becomes very formal, and he ushers you inside. There is an antechamber at the beginning here with pedestals and some earthenware plates, a couple benches, and then beyond that it opens up into the hall of worship with tall pillars supporting a rather large roof. The ceiling is just incredibly high. In fact, the centermost part of the ceiling is completely open, allowing in both daylight and rain. And situated about the Hall of Worship are statues, marble statues in effigy to some of the main gods, the Palagosian pantheon. The patron god of this temple is on the uppermost dais, and his statue is the largest of all. And it is the statue of the Lord of Winds. His proper name would be Theros, though only a priest or priestess would actually say that name aloud. But it's a large, imposing statue of a majestic, athletic man with a long beard and a long, sweeping robe, flowing as if wind is going through his hair and his garb, and he has a winged crown, and in one hand he is holding a bolt of lightning.
I asked the boy, I say, are you the only one here?
Oh, sorry, real quick, just one other detail. Seated to the right hand, the second largest statue in the temple is the Ocean Mother, the goddess Falanera, who has very long hair, long dress. They flow like ocean water itself, and she is holding an orb in her hand, and she has a crown that almost resembles ice. Okay, so you said something to the boy?
I did. I asked him if he's the only one there.
No. There are a couple other people here. You notice there are a small group. They're wearing Palagosian garments, long tunics and robes, and they are standing with their arms raised, and they're in prayer, and they have something burning in a brazier at the foot of the Lord of Winds and the Ocean Mother. And they're not chanting loudly, but you can hear their prayers and their chants that they're offering up into the air as their smoke is wafting up through the cutaway skylight in the ceiling.
I look to Pollock and I say, perhaps you should say the prayer.
I'm not sure I would know what to say.
Your vision led you here, did it not?
To be honest, my grandmother led me here.
What would she have done?
Now, I would try to kind of rack my brain and to collect all of the memories of, her, why I'm here in the first place, the vision that I had just, I think, a day or two ago, and try to come up with, try to find some sort of clue, kind of to tell me, like, what is it I need to do here?
Your grandmother's dying word, she had been here before, but she was not able to come back as she had intended to. Something seemed unfinished, incomplete. Maybe just a wish to see it one more time.
I would, Pollock would move over to, is his name Adan?
Adan, yes.
Adan. And he would, what he would do is he would say his grandmother's name just to see what sort of reaction it might get from Adan. He would just kind of softly say, Calesta.
Calesta?
Do you know this name?
Oh, it's a name. No, I don't know her. Have you come here for favor of the gods? Are you seeking a blessing?
Sure. Yes, that's why I've come.
Okay. Do you have a sacrifice?
I may. This is my first time here in Paralia.
Well, just today?
Ever.
Oh, yes, of course. Animals, seeds, grain, incense. We had a merchant that came through from Kriskatai not too long ago. He just wanted to give us money, so we took that. I don't think Gita liked that very much, though.
Pollock will kind of look around him and He's the bag that's slung over his shoulder containing the golden statue of the wyvern
Hmm.
is weighing heavy on his shoulder. And he looks at Razvan, and I like to think that Razvan is making that exact same face. Can you do that again, Michael?
No, no,
Before he takes
don't.
out the thing, I'll whisper in his ear, "You want the astral liquor?"
Oh yes, that stuff. Maybe they would find something with such an aroma worthy.
I mean, I have no use for it.
Oh, then the gods must be very happy that we're, putting them on such a high pedestal so as to give something to them that we do not want.
A sacrifice is not a sacrifice unless it is something valuable to you.
It's not valuable to me, but it's valuable.
My understanding is that they do not want something that is worth monetary value, but something that is different, something they would maybe have use of.
Dan,
When
I
you-
imagine he kind of hears you all talking about this, and he says, "May I see the incense?"
I get it out of my bag and hand it to him.
Okay, he looks at it, takes a little whiff, and yes, this is magnificent. If you would.
Yes, sure. Yes, absolutely. Yes. What else? Of course, I was going to suggest that. Well done, Alexander. Yes.
Okay, Adan gingerly takes the earthenware jar, and he asks you, Pollock, to which god are you making the sacrifice?
Was my family kind of more, I don't know, attuned to certain gods?
Well, tell you what. Why don't I give you just a quick overview,
Very
and
cool.
then you can kind of go off of that and see where you think feels most appropriate.
Awesome.
Okay, so the elder god, the divine father, is the lord of the Palagosian pantheon. He's the god of creation. His name says it all. He's the divine father, the elder god. Next, there are the sisters, the three sisters, who are the daughters of the elder god. There's the wrathful sister, goddess of destruction and fervor and pride. The guileful sister, goddess of cleverness, comedy, trickery. The beautiful sister, goddess of love, tragedy, and beauty. There are the elemental four, who encompass the four classical elements: the Earth Mother, the Ocean Mother, the Lord of Winds, the Lord of Fire, who, by the way, does also govern the forge and crafting. And the last three are collectively known as the Shadow Lords: Death, along with the Lord of the Underworld, and finally the Nameless God, the Wanderer, the one of the broken crown.
Okay.
If I see Pollock kind of racking his brain over it, Razvan would kind of step forward and get kind of close, like cheek to cheek almost, and kind of whisper and say, "The woman that I saw invite us, the one I saw kill the horse, you think it was your grandmother, no?"
I do not believe that that could be such. I do not believe it could be any other way.
Do you
And you see Pollock kind of moving toward the Divine Father as you continue talking.
Okay.
I would say, do you think maybe she was doing it for the wrathful sister, Zeomara?
Glances over at the wrathful sister.
Sure. She stands proudly, wearing this kind of severe metallic crown, holding a spear in a sort of warrior's grip.
What does the Wanderer look like?
He is actually hooded. He's cloaked, hooded. He has no face, or at least none that can be seen. It's just shadow underneath the hood. Very little is known of the Wanderer. There's not really formal religion dedicated to him.
Pollock, while Razvan is kind of giving him this advice, he says, my father and mother always, when we were children, taught us to worship the Divine Father. But then he looks over at the Wanderer, this ominous figure with the cloak and just the faceless, and says, but my grandmother was always an outsider, even to her own family. And he will walk over to the Wanderer, and he would request the incense and sort of place the incense down, and on top of the incense he would place a purple wristband that has been dirtied by water and mud over the past 4 days. And he knows that it's one of the two parts of this kind of cloth bracelet. The other one belonged to his grandmother, and he sets it on top of the incense of completing the sacrifice. And he says, he looks to Razvan and says, to be honest, we might as well roll a die. He should have said, to be honest, we might as well drop a die.
Yeah.
So Adan
Razvan,
the acolyte. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you turn and look at Razvan and you say that, you get this sensation, like almost as if he was suggesting the wrathful sister in hopes that he might be wrong. But as you walk over to the statue and you look back at him, he saw the carnage that happened on the street. He remembers seeing it again in that vision as we were pushing through the roots. And he kind of just looks at you and he says, I don't think we need any extra guidance. And then he just kind of gives you that faraway look, like we both kind of know that you're right, even if we don't want you to be.
So, at the hope of not tempting further bloodshed or unexpected violence, you steer away from the wrathful sister. Adan accompanies you over to the statue of the Wanderer. The Shadow Lords have the smallest and most isolated alcove.
I'm sorry. Wait 1 second. Sorry, I might have made a mistake. Is the Wanderer? I thought. I'm sorry. I thought the Wrathful one was the Wrathful one hooded.
No, the Wanderer was.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I retcon that? Sorry.
Okay, you wanted to go to the
because he said that. Because he said that's what he saw at the horse being killed.
No. Hold on. Okay. I think we have some kind of wires crossed here.
Okay.
Barker said that he walked over to the Wanderer and put
I didn't mean to say
because his grandmother had always been an outsider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I gave him the look like, yeah, that's right. So he wouldn't have been over at the other statue to walk back. He was already there, right?
Okay. So. Okay.
Is that what you want, Barker? I want you to.
I want to. Let's go to the one that I said. Whether I said it on accident or on purpose.
Sure.
The hooded and cloaked
Freudian slip.
Wanderer.
Okay.
Wanderer.
So we'll stick with that.
Cool. Yep.
And Adan accompanies you to this a little bit more shadowed and secluded alcove at the the farthest corner of the hall of worship here, and he starts preparing the coals and the brazier at the feet of this cloaked, hooded, unknown deity, and he looks back at you as the coal. Okay, you're sure? You're ready?
But out of character, I feel like there's 11 doors and one's going to explode. But Pollock says, I'm not sure, but I am ready.
Okay. So the coals go red hot, and he empties out the, I don't know, maybe a third of this jar. This is pretty potent, expensive stuff. So he empties about a third of it into the coals, sets the jar down. The chunks of dried, hardened resin start popping and bubbling and smoking, and this pungent smoke just pours upward, and the scent begins to fill first just that one pocket of the hall, and then eventually it's going to overtake the entire hall with a very spicy and austere aroma. While this is happening, Adan is chanting, "Oh, rocking back and forth and chanting in, of course, the Palagosian tongue of the Highlands, offering praise, tribute, sacrifice to the nameless god, whose ways and whose tenets are unknown and revealed only within the secret shadows of the inner self. And Pollock, who stands before you, receive your favor and carry through himself, be a vessel for your unknown tenants. Make a wisdom check, Pollock.
I'll use the dice stream. Here we go. +2. That's an 8.
8. All right. Mainly you're overwhelmed by the pungency of the incense. You can't even look because your eyes just sting in water that bad, and your sinuses are very, very angry at being at this location. Mm-hmm. And you have to step away a little bit, however you want to play that out with your own character, but it's overwhelming.
He would. He might even stumble and just kind of catch himself on the floor.
Okay, so you stagger back and kind of catch yourself with your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while your eyes are closed, there is just a brief flash. You see a crown, and it's splitting and breaking before you. You see 2 gates, one gate above and one gate below, a gate of a celestial realm and a gate of an underworld. And both of these gates slam shut, and there's voices that you can't understand, like in this sort of transcendent and overwhelming language, and the emotional content is the same of both of these gates of, you cannot come here, you are not welcome here, just be gone. And that's about it, though Adan continues his chanting and his prayers and offers up tribute to this god and requests his favor come upon you.
What did the crown look like? Was it a specific crown in any way, shape, or form, or was it just kind of one of those?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was a beautiful, ornate, like a platinum lattice work.
Okay. Let me see. I'm doing that note-taking thing. Pollock comes to. His eyes, bodily fluids are just coming out of every orifice in his face, and he is kind of wiping sweat away. a bit of blood actually trickles out of his left nostril, and he just kind of keeps wiping it away, smearing it on his hand, which is now becoming kind of dyed crimson with dried blood. And he's sniffing, and he turns to to see that pretty much everybody, I would assume, unless you're not, of course, is the people are staring at him.
Yeah, the pilgrims, or rather the people that are making their pilgrimage there, they've turned and are watching this, probably smelling this as well.
Mm-hmm. Has he ever seen that platinum latticework crown before, or does he know from where else?
No, you've never seen it like on a banner or in iconography at a temple. It's completely new.
Okay. His grandmother, this is where his brain is at. His grandmother is dead, and she, in her last words, asked him to come here. And he turns to everybody and he explains the vision. He explains the splitting of the crown, the platinum lattice work, after people start going back to their business. And he explains the two gates shutting, and this troubles him more than anything. This idea that perhaps his grandmother might be kind of suspended in some sort of limbo, so to speak, a place where she's unable to rest, unwelcome by either ends, so therefore she's stuck inside the means, that sort of thing. So, so that's what Pollock is calling word to write him down, to say him so quickly, because he feels like if he doesn't say him quickly enough, he's going to forget him and they're going to be lost forever. And so, the sooner he can report it to the people around him, the sooner that they can be made real, made permanent.
Adan places a hand on your shoulder and he says, "Do not worry. No. I'm sure even now your grandmother's spirit is traveling well."
He looks at the hand and follows it towards Adan. Kind of pulls away a little bit, but how can you be sure?
And he stutters to give an answer, and there's a rumble of thunder, a loud clap of thunder, really, at this moment, and rain begins to pour in through the open section in the ceiling, and wind whips throughout the temple, and the candles and the lamps that are burning, they all flicker and waver, and a figure comes forth from the far side, from the I guess you'd call it the back end of the temple. There's the main two deities, the Lord of Winds and the Ocean Mother, and then behind them is the back wall, like a big slab, and then coming out from some sort of entryway behind that slab comes this figure who's wearing a long, somewhat unkempt priestly robe. She has sandy-colored hair that is in these long, matted strands of dreadlocks, and she has in her hand a staff made of driftwood. And she shouts, and her voice just intermixes with this gale that's swirling around. "Your fate lies on the sea!" And then she just makes this dramatic exit right back from where she came.
What the fuck was that?
It was Gita, our Lady Oracle, priestess of Paralia. Yes, the storms, they can make her, the storms go into her, really.
Interesting.
That's not the only thing that would go into her.
I'm just gonna...
Magos.
As he says that, I'm just gonna go take a seat somewhere.
There's a bench at the back of the Hall of Worship or in the antechamber, your choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall asleep on it.
You're gonna sleep.
Nice.
Okay. Despite the howling gale, well, it dies down a little bit, but the rain is still there, and you're fatigued, and it carries you off to the realm of dreams.
Yeah.
Very spicy
Pollock.
dreams you have.
Wasn't a fan of waking up early.
Yeah. He's got sleep apnea, man. Do you hear that snoring? I mean, dude's got to sleep, got to take a nap. Pollock will find his way, not on purpose, but he finds his way into the kind of the center of this place, and the rain starts pouring over him
Hmm.
and kind of washing away the dirt, washing away the last 4 days
Hmm.
of
There's
this journey.
there's a lower section, almost like a shallow pool or a bath, and it's collecting the rainwater, and you're in there, and it's cleansing and washing away grime and blood.
And he kind of looks up and steps out of it and looks back at his companions and says, "Well, do any of you know how to sail?"
Maybe.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Insane.
go on. And yeah.
Okay, so it seems that there may be a sea voyage in the not too distant future. Dan specifically averts his gaze from Magos. He's just acting as if Magos isn't there.
Like the rest of us.
Razvan, he's formal enough with you, though to Pollock he says, you may want to go speak with her.
Pollock nods and kind of begins making his way toward the place from whence she came.
Mm-hmm. When she had shouted, it almost was like she was just shouting to everyone in the whole room, but Dan seems to think there was something special in that connecting to you. So you go to the back of the large open chamber behind this big slab wall, and there is a corridor. There's a door, a shut door to your right, and the corridor continues on, and you see daylight feeding in through the end of the corridor.
And so I would kind of maneuver that way then. Is that where kind of she came from?
You've already gone back behind this back entryway where you last saw her. So now you're in this corridor where you don't see anybody else. And you see this door to your right that's shut, nice reinforced door. And then this corridor continues on, and there's the sunlight, and you can hear some sounds like seaside sounds.
I would kind of rap on the door a few times.
Nobody answers.
I would try the door.
It is locked.
I would continue down the corridor, eyes to the east, looking over the sea.
Mm-hmm. All right, the corridor opens up into the outside. There is a small stone pillared pavilion type structure, and it is actually overlooking cliffs that just drop off into the crashing sea below. Gita, the priestess, is standing there looking out at the storm-racked vista, clenching this driftwood staff in her hand, and her dreadlocked hair and her robes whipping in the wind.
Like a willow song. I whip
Yeah,
my
she-
hair back and
willowy.
forth.
She is a willowy woman. She doesn't look at you, but she says, "You mentioned the name Calesta.
Calesta, yes. She was my grandmother.
You are the grandson of Calesta. I did not know her, but I saw her. I was too young. when she came.
And I was too young when she went.
She was young herself then. I was only a small child. She may have been 12. She was with her mother. Do you know of this?
I never knew her mother. I was born after she had passed.
Gita takes in a nice deep breath of this rushing sea wind. The Lord of Winds is making love to the Ocean Mother. There is a rumble of thunder. Lightning cracks down and hits a rock jutting up out of the sea. You see chunks of this rock fly off, pulverizing it.
Pollock would kind of flinch while Gita remains resolute.
She actually turns to you, and her eyes have a really distinct wildness in them, very wide and rarely blinking. They have a
I suppose, yes.
Their love swept Callista away, took her into their embrace.
When?
When she came. That is why her mother took her away. When their loving had ceased and all had gone calm, they gave Callista back, washed her onto the shore. She breathed again, coughed, water. We wanted to keep her here. Her mother would not have it. She took her away, worrying so for her child.
Her child.
Wouldn't you?
Perhaps. I kind of glance over my shoulder. Do I see any of my companions there?
You do not see Alexander.
Yeah.
Razvan, Magos, did either of you follow?
Yes.
Magos? I would actually be almost bristly at the doorway leading into the hallway between where Alex is and where they are.
Sure.
But whenever he turns and looks down the hallway, he would see me standing there looking at them like, I'm not going anywhere. It's just I'll be here.
And Magos?
I've been peeking around the corner, intrigued.
Okay. So you hear this tale. Gita talks about, Callista came with her mother when Callista herself was a child. And there was some sort of severe incident where Callista got swept away into the ocean and seemingly drowned, but she resuscitated. And rather than Callista stay as the temple wanted, her mother panicked and took her away back to Vitus, wherever they were living at the time.
Pollock is kind of staring out at the sea. Is it kind of a cliff ledge, like you can't just walk out to it? It's kind of a...
It is, absolutely. And it doesn't look like someone could fall from here and land into the ocean very pleasantly. It may actually be fatal.
Okay. He says, in kind of a low whisper, I cannot swim, while clinging to this crushed up piece of what looks like a type of paper, and he unravels it, and you see an image of the tower, the card that he had dropped on the first day of this journey on the floor of the the wagon, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it and meditating slightly on its meaning. And he says it again while looking at Gita this time. I can't swim, and neither could my grandmother.
Who can swim in the embrace of two gods making their love? Not even I.
I will not drag anybody with me, but I wish to follow along the path my grandmother walked, or...
The path is not here anymore. It ends at this cliff now. I fear someday even the temple itself will be taken, reclaimed. Wouldn't that be a sight?
Magos whispers under his breath, a crazy beach.
There's another loud clap of thunder. Oh, wasn't that a good one?
You are an oracle, is what they call you, correct?
Some call me this.
Suggest I do in order to fulfill my grandmother's wish.
Wait until the storm calms.
He looks out. Is it not here already?
You're welcome to stay. Adan will see to it if he feels you need to offer more. Another tongue of lightning flicks somewhere out on the ocean.
Pollock finds himself standing very, very close to that ledge.
You're looking at the ledge and you can see it's not a smooth rock face at all. It's very jagged and crumbly. And Kalista seemed to allude to at an older point in time it went farther out. Yeah, it went farther out and it's slowly being reclaimed by the sea.
So it's okay. So it's been kind of eaten away, reclaimed. Yeah, like she said that someday the temple might be reclaimed. Pollock would ask, "Is there a ship?"
There are many ships. Some of them sail, some of them sink. What is in your fate? It could be either.
He hands the card over to Gita and says, "Here, take this." And he actually, if she reaches for it, then he gives it to her. If she doesn't, then it kind of falls from his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
She looks at it. Takes it from you.
He says, "I will watch fate as it flows down the path I have chose."
She grins and just relaxes her fingers and lets it flutter away, and it flies out on the winds and down, carried down into the stormy ocean.
And Pollock will begin stepping away, and then he'll turn and walk back down the corridor.
You hear her behind you as you're doing this, with just the thunder going, and she's like, "Oh!" Razvan, you're the one who's you're kind of hanging back the most, and you hear the voice. Yeah, you hear the voice of Adan, the acolyte, and he says, "It's best that maybe you're not standing here just now."
I take a big step, off to the side. I say, "Why?"
"It's storming. It would be better once the storms are over."
Look up. I understand, I think. Yes, it's best to be safe during storms.
Of course. We're here. It's a very strong temple, very sturdy. It's been here for a very long time. You're most safe here.
Yes. I look down the hallway and I see that Pollock's kind of somberly walking back. And I turn to this guy and I say, Adan, does the Oracle ever give people peace of mind with her prophecies?
Yes, I've seen it before.
And I would look at Pollock's face and I would see that he may or may not have gotten the answer that he was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, I'm not so sure about today. Pollock!
Yes. Yes.
To be like, are we going to wait out the storm here?
I think we should. Yes, I think we should. I think that's a smart decision, right? Stay in here, stay inside. It's dangerous outside, and wait to see if the weather clears up.
I think that's best too. Maybe you can find more answers. And he would, again, kind of do the bro embrace, like on the shoulder, pat, pat, you know?
Snap the knuckles, fist
Yeah,
bump.
something like that.
I got you.
It's
It's what all these.
yeah, the butt to butt, boom.
It's what all the halflings are doing nowadays. Yes.
Oh, yes.
So, Razvan and Pollock are for waiting out the storm. Magos, you're good with this?
Yeah, I think I'm good with that.
Okay. And Alexander must be, as he is snoozing.
Well, he's actually in his sleep. He's having a nightmare, more or less.
Kicking.
Here, let me get closer to the mic. How's this?
Yes. You're having a nightmare.
Yes.
Is it of children that have been
No.
killed, or the crazy hound?
I don't know, because it could be what you want it to be, or it could be what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking that he would have a nightmare about what happened back in. My goodness, I'm awful with town names.
Vitus.
Vitus?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the big city.
When he killed the wrong person,
Oh, yes.
and the fact that he needs to get to Chisai, isn't it? Chisai?
Yeah, Chris Katai.
Chisai, sorry.
Mhm.
Like I said, awful with names.
Yeah, so that could probably be a very unsettling nightmare because, here you are, you've been a discreet elven assassin slinking through Vitus as you did, and there's just the moment of sheer dread when you realize this person who you just put a crossbow bolt through, or an arrow through.
Right. And
it was not the right guy, and he was actually a member of the actual Palagosian militia of the Vaishan Legion.
right. And this entire time Alex has kind of just gotten caught up in the moment. He's really enjoyed spending time with his sort of longtime friend, Razvan. He doesn't really have friends that he's close to, but he considers Razvan a good friend. And so he's kind of just been going along to help his friend out, and now he's realizing a lot of time has passed, and he wants to get there.
Mm. Yeah,
Get done what he-
whenever you wake up from the nightmare, you probably have that moment where you're like,
I need to get
I need to get going. Someone could be looking for me. They could have sent, soldiers following. They could be coming here.
Just everything is starting to connect back to that. Even the question that the guy was asking earlier, he's like, was he testing me or something?
Mm-hmm. When he was asking about House Kokora.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it paranoia, or was there something more to that questioning?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, are you wanting to depart on your own while the other three stay here, or do you want to wait for the storm to pass, however long that may take?
Well, he's gonna, or I'm gonna go up to the guys and say, "Look, I really need to find a way to clear my name." Or I'll say this to Razvan, not to the other guys. I need to find a way to clear my name. I can't give you details, but something happened. Something
Razvan
went
would
wrong.
lean in and would hold up a hand, and he would say, "I know, Alexander. I know. I have had my
I don't-
contacts. I've had my contacts invite us for a long time. We have worked together. I would not lose track of you so easily. I know what has happened, and I'm trying to set it right now. With a little bit of money, and with the right contacts." And I kind of look back towards Magos, who I can imagine is looking at some of the statuary, or perhaps spitting on some of the statuary. I don't know. And I would say, perhaps with the right contacts and Vitus, you won't have to run for your entire life. That's why I wanted you to come with me. It wasn't just fate. And I put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm like, you'll be all right. I promise.
I'd still like to at least get to Vitus. But, yeah. Chris,
I
Chris-
understand.
Chris
Yes.
Cody.
Wake up,
Mm.
smack, smack. Wake up, smack, smack. Okay.
So, Alexander, your ally gives you some reassurance that you'll be able to return back safely to Vitus someday after he's able to work whatever bribery or browbeating or pulling the right strings, so to say. So hopefully this does give you a little bit of confidence that you can come back there at some point in time.
Well, had it been anybody else, he probably wouldn't take it at face value, but he knows Razvan is good to his word, so...
Razvan, yeah, he knows people. He has dirt on a lot
I
of
can
people.
get the thing from the guy.
He's like Red from the Shawshank Redemption.
Pretty
You need
much.
something brought in? I
I
got
don't
you.
have it in my pocket, unfortunately.
That's a really good analogy, actually. That's a really
Yeah.
good comparison.
All right, so with the map, with Razvan's map, you can see that from where you are at Paralia, the coastline goes northwest by west, heading back towards the river, and then it's going to, have some different jagged turns. But generally speaking, if you follow the coast north, you're going to hit Chisai in about a day.
I think...
Just keep the sea to your right-hand side, and it'll be about a day, maybe day and a half.
I actually, are you dead set on leaving? Like, we would have talked about this in conversation. I'm trying to speed it up. Are you dead set on leaving right now, Alexander?
He just wants to get there to... He thinks there's something there that could help him. He's not sure what, but he's just been told over and over from people in the guilds, the people that have hired him.
Yeah.
Hearsay is that...
See, the thing is if you're leaving right now, even during the storm, this is a great place to stop because we gotta get this wrapped up. But I would actually open my pack and I would have a smaller satchel inside it, and it would have some rations, it would have some extra clothes, some shit like that stashed inside it that I actually have written on my character sheet. That's the bug out bag. And I would just hand it to you, and I would say, go here, and I would hand you the map, and I would say, keep the sea to your right, go, you will get there, And I promise, when I clear up this mess, I will send for you. I promise. Go.
And he's gonna go off on his own.
That's good. Props for playing to character.
Very cool.
So, there's a farewell, at least for now, to your ally and comrade of this adventure, Alexander of the woodland folk, as he seeks out Chisai to hopefully hire on to a ship and get away from this hot seat he's found himself in, and it is quite hot. Killing a soldier, killing a member of the Vaishan Legion that's a very serious crime. You possibly could be crucified for that. At the very least, you would be hung. So you say your goodbye, whatever that is, and make your way northward towards Chisai. So the other three of you, you stay put at Paralia while the storm actually intensifies for a bit. There is another small group of people on a pilgrimage, and they show up, and they say they've actually came there from Sordaria, which is a pretty large coastal city-state to south by southeast from where you're at currently. And they say they're coming here for the Fey Moon. This is actually the current month is the month of the Fey Moon, and at its pinnacle, the full moon has this magnificent effect where it has these sort of rainbowed halos that'll surround it, and there's religious ceremonies that go along with that. But they've actually brought some sacrifices of their own. They've brought animals, and Adan sacrifices lambs and goats and grain, and the parts that are not offered to the gods are shared amongst everyone here to eat, so there's something of a feast. It's not a glorious feast, but it's certainly enough to get your belly full. The storm rages throughout the night. When you awaken the next morning, it is very peaceful and very calm, and there's just a sporadic drop of water coming from the ceiling through the opening here and there into the collecting pool. And Pollock, when you open your eyes, Gita is at the far end of the chamber, and she beckons you.
I wipe the sleep away again and clear the throat and walk over, stumbling slightly like someone who has just awoken.
She places a hand gently onto your side of your arm. Did you sleep well?
Yes. Actually, I think the food had something to do with it.
I did not have any. I was fasting. But I am glad that you slept well. Come. Let us watch the sea. It's always beautiful in the morning.
It is more peaceful now.
It is. So you go back down the corridor, out to the pavilion, overlooking the sea. There are still clouds in the sky, but they break up in areas, and the sun has risen some. It's still in there in the eastern sky, and you'll see it every once in a while rays break through the clouds and create a rather majestic sight. From time to time, seabirds will fly by and do their calling. And she says, I believe your destiny is the Ember Isle.
The Ember Isle.
It is one of the islands of the Odessan Sea.
I've never heard of it.
I believe you have seen it. At least something that represented it. You saw Warcrail's prison, there on the Emperor Isle.
Yes.
A fist of stone, like a tower.
I did. Yes.
A symbol on upon the door.
And Pollock is nodding through this.
You know the symbol that I'm talking about?
Was it the shapes?
In your dream, there was this, what started off as a stony hand that was clutching some sort of myrrh titan. But you saw years and centuries pass by quickly, and it all just petrified and kind of collected with rock and stone.
Yes.
But it was, tower-like or column-like, and there was a door at its base on whatever this island was, and the door had a pentagon, and inside of that was a square, and inside of that was a triangle.
Triangle, yeah. Great.
They were just right there, concentric with each other.
Yes, I know of what you speak.
But do you know what it means?
I cannot say that I do. The 5 pentagon is a symbol of elements, correct?
Classically, there are 4.
I've never been one for a school of magic. My parents would forbid it.
Forbid it or not, we are not the ones who created this world, nor the workings that flow through it. It is there whether we believe in it or not. You can take a stance for, against it, nothing, but take some sort of stance. You feel it is in you, this symbol.
Yes.
Okay, she paces, slowly paces about the pavilion. I think it is in you. I think you might be the key to open the door.
This entire time, Pollock his hand is on his sword, not in the hilt, but kind of holding a portion of the blade that is kind of nearer to the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks down at it, and it was just something that looked pretty. Thing that he put there as a stamp of his own. So if anybody looked at this, a certain sword that was crafted by Pollock Talor, they would know that it was his. And he picked it because it passed the glamour test. It looked noble enough to be to pass for the King's Guard, and it was simple enough to make an easy etching. And he lifts his hand and looks at the sword, and there is that symbol that she is talking about, that has been there for many years since he has crafted this sword. And he covers it back up and says, "And if I am, what must I do?"
5 and 4 and 3. They are in you. What do you have of 5?
Fingers.
Do you not have 10?
Sword hand fingers.
Sword hand twitching.
Damn you.
Yeah, let him drown on his own.
Put him in.
Man, I am not good with this kind of stuff. So good luck to
Balls.
you.
No.
What kind of disease do you have?
That's what Pollock just kind of lets out a grin.
So I'll let you do this how you would like. If you just want to roll with whatever's coming naturally to you, we can do that. Or if you want to actually roll something, if you feel like you have a skill and ability that you can roll, I would be up for that as well. Whatever you think is most appropriate.
I would, I don't know. I don't know if an insight check would be something that would fall into it. I hate rolling for this crap because I want to know it. I have 4 levels in fighter. I have a 5 in charisma. No, not really.
Please tell me you don't have a 5 charisma.
No, not even a little bit.
My name's Pollock.
Hey, don't knock it.
Mama said those my magic boots. Anyway, actually, Pollock begins looking at his person, like maybe that there's something on him that he has 5 of.
Okay, so something intelligence-based. Intelligence check, or maybe like a nature or an investigate. If you can explain it and justify it, I'm game.
I think intelligence is a good call. Probably because I'm going to roll poorly on it. It's just a straight D20 roll because I have 0 modifier there, and that is a 17.
Excellent. Physical senses.
I knew it! I'm sorry. I should have muted for that.
Nice, Jamie. He realizes that, and he nods. He doesn't say that he has the 5 sentence, but he nods, kind of in understanding.
You give a knowing look to the oracle, Gida, and she nods back. Keep it with you. What do you have of 4?
Cardinal directions.
Do you actually have that?
No, I'm just naming things.
It's called spitballing.
Does Pollock have glasses? Because he could have 4 eyes. Hey!
God, teeth.
See?
Wonderful.
I've imagined this dashing just like, oh, I'm the hero.
Oh no, not at all. He actually doesn't have a very attractive face. It's not ugly, but he's definitely not like a Gaston or anything. Anyway,
he has a face from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm from the streets.
Please no.
There are 4 of us.
I think it is in you, though, says the oracle.
Hmm.
Something you possess.
Appendages.
I would like. Oh yeah. I didn't hear that, so
No.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say
No.
I have 4 limbs.
You do have 4 limbs. Do you feel that that is the right answer?
Roll a d20. I'm going to roll a d20. That's a 6.
In character.
No.
All right, so keep that as is. You do have 4 limbs. What do you have of 3?
By the way, thanks, Brice. No. But you can't ruin my street cred anymore, Brice. So I'm just gonna. There we go. Okay. What do I have 3 of? It's your turn to help out. Yeah, Cody, come on, man. Anytime you want to step
Come on, we're all throwing it in the pot.
in.
He's been blazing it up too hard.
Survey says 3 companions. That's my final answer. $1 million?
It's in me.
I'll take shit that never happened for 500.
Crazy oracles for 300?
Well, after this quiz, he's going to have 3 brain cells. Just beating himself in the head with it.
Body have...
Ah!
Mind, body, and spirit?
Perhaps so, says Gita. She draws in a deep breath. I feel the answer will come to you in time, incomplete. It is not wholly clear to me either, but that is not my purpose, nor my want. Life is not clear, nor is it simple, and nor is it accommodating. It is complex and often outrageous and unexpected. If you will trust in this, just as you trusted the card to me yesterday, I feel the path shall reveal itself to you. But the Amber Isle is calling to you. Of this I am certain.
Am I destined to go alone?
You brought companions with you. They are here now. It seems fitting that they would still accompany you. If not them, perhaps others. If you truly felt that you must go alone, then only you can make that decision.
He nods to Gita, and kind of in a subtle bow of some sort of reverence. Thank you for your words.
The pleasure was all mine.
You are probably correct. But the curiosity was all mine. And you know what they say about curiosity in felines.
So, the visit to Paralia has ended up noteworthy, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to touch base real quick with Magos, who I think has been a little on the backseat on this one. Is there anything that you have been doing here, Magos? How do you feel in a religious setting?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm fairly religious, but it's a conflicting feeling because I'm able to break the laws that the gods have set in place. So I sometimes question whether they are real or not. But I don't question the fact that there are things beyond mortal comprehension. So I find some truth in the gods and what they stand for, and the parallels and almost poetry of reality in some motion. So I have kind of I'm on the fence with the gods. I don't.
Sure. You're in true Magos style. You're thinking about it a lot.
Indeed.
Okay, and would you say that's all that Magos would do? He would just think about it and kind of analyze and examine from different angles. He wouldn't just kind of go blindly with faith and emotion.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay. Is there anything that you're doing, like any actual physical things you're doing? Are you talking to people? Are you going to make a sacrifice?
I do ask why.
Study a spell book, anything.
I do ask if they know anything about the mist surrounding this area.
Adan is very reticent to speak with you, but there are other people there that have made pilgrimages, and they speak of coming from either the north, from Kriskatai or Thamasala or some other area, or maybe they've sailed there from Sordaria, Dalcium, somewhere else, maybe even Ophora. The area that you all were adventuring in is actually just one part of the Scarred Coast. So if you can kind of picture, there's a whole region called the Scarred Coast, and you were in just this section of it. Someone refers to it as the Misted Fields or the Fields of Mist. It's not an area that people will go through typically. No one will just walk through there. There's not roads. It's dangerous. There's kind of spooky stories that get told about that area.
I laugh at the spooky stories. Who would believe in such supernatural nonsense? I asked them if a boy had gone missing, or a girl had gone missing, rather.
No one knows anything about the child going missing. You can make a charisma check if you'd like to kind of probe further with charismatic, talking, trying to guile your way out of more information.
20.
20.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm not an evoker, I'm an enchanter. I just happen to be in a fiery mood recently.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the women pilgrims, she kind of catches you when there's not too many people within listening distance. Maybe you're just at the back of the hall here. She says her name is Krina.
Hello.
There was a girl that has gone missing from Chisai. She's been gone now for a half moon.
A half moon? Wow.
Yes.
I know what happened to her.
I have my suspicions as well. It is better that she is gone. No one's talking about it. No one will say anything, but in our hearts, we're all glad.
What are you talking about?
She had an evil spirit in her.
Was she a young adult? Roughly 15, 14 years.
She had 14 years.
Do you know anything else?
I'm surprised she lived to the age that she did. You should hear the way she screamed in the night, like a banshee.
She sees Magos just kind of look so puzzled, and yet so like he's answered so many questions at the same time. Magos says, well, between you and me, my comrades and I stumbled upon a shack on top of a hill to the west, and we thought that there was a witch or some sort of wild man living there that had skinned a girl alive, and we burned down the shack with her body in it. We thought it was evil or something.
Her eyes they kind of go wide. I would not go back there if I were you then.
Do you know who lives there?
No.
Okay, never mind. 9 inside.
Whoa. Yeah, okay. So you get some information out of this woman. Krina seems to somewhat be in the know, perhaps hazy on details of this girl that was from initially her town. And she seems perfectly content that this girl is gone and out of this world.
Very, very interesting. Okay, I think other than that, Magos may just meditate a little bit, trying to remember why in the world he's even on this trip.
You could set the lady on fire to see if she remembers anything else.
Yeah.
Magos, make a... We'll do an intelligence check for you. There's an Arcana, right?
Yes.
Please do that.
That's a 25.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So there is something about this place. Perhaps there are fey lines crossing here, or maybe there's just an amount of spiritual energy that has been stocked up through prayers, sacrifices, pilgrimages, all these tributes that have passed through this temple over the years. You remember very distinctly your vision of the roots, the blood vessels, the hydra heads hatching from the egg, the vision of the Evoria Tower, and the field of statues surrounding it. You also remember well the man with whom you've spoken, you've interacted with him recently, the man who has no body.
Galades.
Yes, Galades. There was something to that root chamber that you'd gone through, something connected with you while you were there. And I'm sure you remember going into your visions while you were there. Maybe a bit much to go into it here just the moment, but I do want to at least complete this couple thoughts. There was something that you started. Let's see, how can I say this? Yeah, I don't want to describe it. I'm going to have to just. I don't want to just objectively describe it. I'm going to have to say it like in game. So, Magos is in his kind of an arcane meditation, if you want to call it that, and you see the roots of this chamber once more, just like you're right back there. And the roots are snaking over you, and they're actually tracing up and connecting into the back of your head, like they're connecting with the veins inside of your brain. And so you have this uncomfortable yet invigorating connection with this damp, dark place. A couple things start to click with you. One is actually a spell. And if you want to make a note of this, your Magos will gain mastery of this spell over the next few days as you kind of make your your notations in your spell book. But the spell is called Mind Bolt. It's an enchantment spell, 2nd level.
Excellent.
In your mind, you might envision it as these roots flinging into the mind of another creature and kind of seizing them, entangling them by the mind, by the brain almost.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. What can I tell you about that? I have it just right here.
Seems like an original spell.
It is. Okay. Mind bolts. Okay, so it is a ray, 60 feet, a 60-foot ray. So that's the one where you make the attack action to hit them with the ray. And if you hit them, the target is only able to perform their action or their movement. They can't do both on their turn. And that'll end on a wisdom saving throw at the end of their turn. In addition, while they're under the effect of the Mind Bolt, if that person who's affected, if they try to cast a spell, they have to succeed on a concentrate check based off your spell DC. Otherwise, their spell fizzles.
Yeah, you ought to send me that in a Facebook message. I'll say.
Yeah. I'll get you the actual notes on it, but that's what it does.
Very cool.
The second thing that comes to you is you are fairly certain you can get Galades into a body. It has to be a body that you are very intimately connected with yourself. The only person, and when I say intimately connected with, I don't mean just Magos' Bangder. I mean, you have a a very strong, not just a physical connection, but an actual divine connection, if you want to put it that way, at least legal, if you want to see it that way. The only person who suits that role, at least at this point in time, is your soon-to-be wife. So there will come a time where you're going to need to decide if you want Galades to actually take over your wife's body, as in she will be gone. It'll still be her voice, her body, everything, but Galades himself, his mind, his spirit will be in her body.
Very interesting.
And there's further implications and possibilities with that to come, either way that you go with it. So
That's really cool.
I think that's a good place to kind of wrap things up. I should give out some XP for Paralia, though. I'll do 100 XP for everybody.
Was that plus the 50 initially?
Absolutely.
Cool. That was an awesome story,
That is awesome.
Cody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take a bow. Esper had nothing to do
Rather
with
than
it, I'm sure.
hell.
So let's just real quick talk about Crows in the Mist. Crows in the Mist can be done, or if the characters really have that adventuring spirit going on, and they want to keep exploring through the misted field.
I think what we should do is we should, and this is on Twitch, right? People can watch it on Twitch, and you're also uploading these streams later on, correct, Esper?
Yep, I've got parts 1 and 2 uploaded. 3 it's ready to upload. I'll do it sometime when it feels appropriate, and then I've got this one recorded now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I think
I will be streaming anything that we do. So
cool. Well, let me. I've got the Provokers later this month. I've got the Winds of Sir Celine game later this month. Where my wife and I were starting a business project this month, so it is a good time to kind of get in the chat and decide and schedule when we're going to do this. But I would like to continue. I would like to not fold Pollock's character sheet in half. I'd like to keep it magneted on the board. So.
Yeah, I'm really loving this campaign, and I feel like I'm the weakest character out of all of us because all of y'all are so talented at this. I mean, it almost seems like it's a second nature thing,
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Means a lot. Thank you.
Don't
Don't bag yourself, and even
exactly. Don't wreck yourself, man.
if
You got me with that friggin' seagull thing. And
you have
you didn't get Pollock that you got me.
freshest. Yeah, you have the freshest thought process because we're all so in the heads of our characters, and you bring that little bit of comedy and outside perspective.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Don't down yourself.
Definitely not a bad thing at all.
You've seen my videos. Don't down yourself.
Don't do yourself, man.
at least you're trying. I mean, good God, I know players that just come in. What I get, I rolled a 3.
We only got 100 experience. Fuck this game.
Yeah.
But I do have I have to do my assignment resubmission in the next hour and 13 minutes, so I'm going to do that. But before I do, Esper, whether it's a book or a poem or any sort of thing to read, if you were to tell me to read one thing that inspires you to describe things the way you describe, or to watch one thing, or to listen to one song, you had to pick one media, what would it be?
Edgar Allan Poe.
That is a really, really difficult question to answer. I'll give you 2 answers. One's going to be real straightforward.
Okay.
The other one's a little more complicated. I'll give you the complicated one. The complicated one is there really is no one thing.
Cool.
It's just keep being open-minded, open-hearted to inspiration everywhere you go, everywhere you look, everywhere you talk to. Meet new people, go on walks, listen. I mean, I think you do all those things.
Well, I love your words. I mean, you always seem, your brain seems to be a thesaurus. I mean, you're just never at a lack of words. And sometimes you'll describe something, and I'm like, shit, man, I ran a game yesterday. I was trying to describe the exact same thing, and I was like, it's like a pizza.
It's like the
inside the cave inside the cave, it's like, kind of sliding down. It's like dirt, and you're like, there's scree on the side of the walls, and I'm like, fucking scree! It's scree! Jesus, Parker!
Honestly, one thing that I can pitch at, like I've talked to Esper before, getting published has been the hardest fucking thing I've ever done in my life.
Mhm.
But if you actually sit down with just a serious sheet of paper, pick a scene in your head that you would think you've played in a D&D game, and then write it down in as much detail as you can,
Yeah.
and just do that exercise like
Mhm.
once a week or twice a week,
Yes.
it will seriously help. Like, no
Cool.
joke.
Yeah,
Keep writing. Write all the time and get feedback and criticisms, even if it's real harsh. If you know anyone who is an editor, a proofreader, an English teacher, I feel pretty fortunate because I write at my job, and we have an actual proofreader on my team who's helped me develop. And I read thesauruses all the time. I love thesaurus. Just thesaurus.com even is amazing.
So
Okay, and then
straightforward.
quick, straightforward answer. If I had to just pick one thing to recommend to you to read, the poetry of Pablo Neruda.
Oh, nice. All right, cool.
Pablo's good. Yeah.